Summer is certainly in full swing, so I really just want to know if you have a favorite natural material besides leather that you like in your handbags, particularly for warm weather months. Today, I'm going to be chatting basket bags. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the different types of materials that are used to make these types of basket bags, because I'm really just using that term as an umbrella term for these different materials. So we'll talk a bit about the different materials, and then I'm also going to give you a rundown of my favorite ones from both luxury designer brands and contemporary designer bags, and then I'll tell you my opinion. I'll give you my opinion on whether or not I think it is worth it to splurge on these type of bags. Hi guys, it's Temi with YellowSparksJoy. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I like to talk about fashion and lifestyle, particularly handbags. So if you find those topics interesting, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the tiny notification bell beside the subscribe button so you can get notified every single time I upload a new video. Now, like I said earlier, basket bags are made of different kinds of materials. So I'm using basket bags just as the umbrella term to mean any type of handbag that is made with those natural materials besides leather, because leather is natural as well, that are woven together to form a nice, beautiful type bag in any different shape, because really you have so many shapes. Some are totes, some are bucket bags, some are wine bags, used to carry bottles. Some are like farmer market types bags. You have satchels, you have carry-alls. There's a plethora of these types of bags, and with anything that is trendy and fashionable in the fashion industry, every brand at this point has a basket type bag in their lineup of bags. So there's typically 4 different descriptions that you come across when you're looking at basket type bags. First, raffia, then you see straw, then you also see rattan, and then you see wicker. While these 4 descriptive factors are similar, they're also very different. So let's take a brief look at what each one really means. So first of all, raffia. Raffia is a fiber that is derived from raffia leaves. Because it is leaves, it tends to be a little bit more pliable than some of the other materials that we're going to be talking about later as well. Straw is gotten from dried stalks of grain. So think like cereal grains. The dried stalks of those is what is processed and turned into straw. You don't even need to process it. In its raw element, it is straw. But of course, to make that finished, nice, refined look on a handbag, it's probably processed in one form or the other. Like I said, of all the 4 different kinds that I'm talking about today, straw is probably the easiest for me to distinguish, because they all look similar, right? They're all this natural color, light brown color. They are, depending on the weaving technique, they can all look the same, but I think for me, straw is the easiest to distinguish because it is lighter to touch. It is also softer to touch as well. Rattan is derived from a tropical type tree. It is, I think, one of the more durable options in this basket type category. You can also derive cane from that same rattan tree. I think cane is gotten like when you shave down some parts, whereas rattan is the whole tree in itself, I think. But rattan is used mostly for furniture, as is cane also, because they are derived from the same type tree. Now, wicker, on the other hand, is the one that seems to be the most confusing, because it's kind of like the catch-all in the fashion industry. Very similar to how brands use original leather and genuine leather and all of that. Wicker is not a material. Now, unlike straw, raffia, and rattan that we've earlier talked about, wicker is not a material. Wicker is a weaving technique. So really, this technique can be done with any of these aforementioned materials, other materials such as willow, and even synthetic materials. Keep that in mind. But what I've noticed is that brands will say wicker and will not say specifically what material that wicker pattern is from. And I think that brands should be more responsible in letting us consumers know what material exactly that wicker patterned item is made from, but they just use that general term wicker to describe the bags. Generally, these natural plant-derived materials are lightweight, easy to carry, they're airy because again they're basket, and the way they are woven, it's easy for air to get into the bag. So it's great for warm weather months. I'm not going to say summer because there's so many different parts of the world where they don't have like the 4 seasons. So any warm weather climate or warm time of the year, these bags are really nice to use them for. So that's why you see them really trending when in this part of the world, in North America, it's summer. the trend, and designers and brands go hard on all things basket like. Now, traditionally, basket like items were used or were made to like carry food, carry load, carry drinks, that kind of thing. I remember growing up and having so many like picnic type baskets, but like the round ones, like a basket shaped basket. And we'd use them to like transport food from one location to the other. Like if we're going for like a party and we're bringing some food, we'd use that. Or to like make hampers during Christmas time, would buy these baskets, mostly made from cane at that time, from where I grew up. There were so many basket weavers then, and they just quickly whipped this up, and it was so fascinating to watch them. And then we'd use that to build Christmas hampers for family and friends. So I really, really remember that. And it's interesting to watch how this has transformed and been incorporated into the fashion industry, where you now have bags for all occasions. Like you have your typical picnic bags that are made from these materials. Now you have your more elegant and sophisticated totes and satchels that are also made from these materials. So let's take a look at some of these handbags. And these are my favorite ones to look at. I'm not saying I'm going to buy them, but the ones I just love to look at because I think they're so gorgeous. I'll start first with the luxury designer ones. I will work away from the cheapest to the most expensive. The cheapest on my list, again, remember that these are the ones that there's so many styles, right? There's so many styles, maybe different materials, but these four that I'm going to be mentioning are the ones that I personally love. So you might see a trend in the style of these bags. So number one is the Prada wicker and canvas tote, and this one is priced at around 2,700 US dollars. Pretty pricey for a material that is cut from a tree, more or less, or derived from a plant. But anyways, we'll talk about pricing later. 2,700 US dollars. I really love the aesthetic of this, that square boxy shape, and the fact that the interior is canvas. It just makes it all the more breathable, very nice and aesthetically pleasing to use in the warm weather months. And I think that when you think summer tote or summer bag, Prada is one of the brands, if not the topmost brand, that comes to mind, because they just have so many summer months bags under their belt. So you have the Prada crochet totes, you have the Prada beach totes, you have like Prada is almost at this point synonymous with summer bags. So it's not surprising that this is the first bag on my list. One, because it is the most affordable of all the luxury ones on my list, and two, because it's kind of one of the most popular as well. So again, I just love the shape. There's nothing really, the thing with basket bags is there's nothing really outstandingly different from brand to brand, right? They're all basket bags. Like they all look alike. It's just each brand kind of puts their own spin on it, like their own brand elements to it. So if you see a basket bag without the logo and you see a basket bag with the logo, they're essentially almost the same thing, except one has that brand logo and the other doesn't, if that makes sense. So I think, so it's more the style of the bag than the brand, but then the brand, of course, as with all things fashion, also comes into play. So I really like this Prada one. Next, and number two on my list for luxury designer basket bags is the Lady Dior. I think this is one that makes my heart sing. And it's funny I'm saying that because I just said that all basket bags are pretty much the same, except when they put their different logos on them. But the Lady Dior, the way Dior has put their spin on the Lady Dior for this basket version is just chef's kiss. They've put that Christian Dior all around it, and then the I think it is the charm I like the most. The way it just has the Dior dangling down on the one side. It's just beautiful. I also appreciate the fact that instead of doing their regular flap closure or the zipper closure, they've done this in a drawstring, so it's much easier to open and put in your things, because we know that because it is structured, because it is wicker, it doesn't have that much give, basically. So using that drawstring is really nice, so it makes it easier to get in and out of the bag. But I just think it is so beautiful. I actually, look, if I had the money, I would buy this bag, but I think I would buy it in the DJoy version. So we know that the Lady DJoy is the East-West variation of the Dior bag, and I think I prefer it. Like, if you watched my videos long enough, you know I like East-West bags, right? So I like the DJoy. By the way, the Lady Dior in wicker comes in at about 6,000 US dollars for its full size, okay? So the DJoy, which is smaller, I mean, the DJoy has a mini and a medium. I think that is about 4,000 US dollars. Ugh. Yikes. But I think it's just so pretty. Again, because Dior has put their spin on this type bag, it comes in different color variations. You have the darker wicker, you have the lighter one, you have different colored jacquard insert options, you have there are different oblique materials. I can't put my finger on exactly why this is my favorite, but it's just beautiful to me. Number 3 on the list is the LV Rattan Capucines BB. Now, I appreciate Louis Vuitton because they're the only ones on this list that have actually told me the source material of their bag. So they've not called this one a blanket wicker. They've actually called it rattan. So we know that this bag is made out of rattan. Now, the Capucines is kind of like LV's version of their Lady Dior. It's supposed to be their main bag, even though it's not as popular as they would like it to be. But the Capucines is supposed to be their go-to high-end top of the top bag, and of course they have to have it in this type of version, and I think it's very pretty. Of all the ones on my list, it's the only one with 2 compartments, and that's just because of the way the capucine is designed. I'm not sure how much give this one will have either, and especially because this is the BB size, I think it's actually going to be quite small because it has that middle divider. But it's so pretty to look at. That shape, the trapezoid shape, the top handle, the brown leather. I love when basket materials are compared or combined with brown leather as opposed to like white leather or other color variations. I just love that natural and brown. I think it's just so beautiful, easy to style, easy to pair. I'm gushing all over again on this $8,000 handbag. How crazy is that, guys? Fourth on my list of luxury designer basket bags is the Hermes Kelly picnic bag. If money wasn't an option, my entire collection would be filled with Hermes bags. If money wasn't an option, I would buy the Kelly picnic bag because I love the Kelly. I just love the silhouette of the Kelly. Very similar shape to the capucines that we just discussed. And the fact that the Kelly picnic bag has like that strip of leather in the middle. I don't know. I need to see it in person. I don't think I will ever see it in person. Because this bag retails for about 13,000, and that's if you even see it to buy at the store. That's if you're even offered. It retails for about $13,000 dollars on the resale market, which is where you more readily find it. I saw some on Vestiaire Collective. They were going for over 80,000 US dollars. Yes. And that's for the mini size. Oh well. Let's move on to more affordable options from contemporary designer brands. First off, we're going to take a look at Coach outlets, where you have the K crossbody. I think this one is currently sold out in the US, but it's still available on Coach Outlet Canada, and it's very beautiful. Again, that natural colored straw. So yes, Coach Outlet has mentioned that this is straw, and then you have the brown leather top on this one. Again, my love for brown and natural. Very, very beautiful. This one comes in at 183 Canadian dollars. So a fraction of the price compared to all the other luxury brands that we previously talked about. Number 2 on my list is, and please, this list is by no means conclusive. These are just from brands that I like. There's a plethora of styles from different brands out there, right? So I can't mention them all or else this video will be too long. But this is just my list, my preferences, okay? So number 2 on this list is the Kate Spade Sam Wicker Madras Satchel. This is a small size bag. Actually, Kate Spade refers to it as a mini, priced at $298. You can see the shape of this one, very similar to the Prada and the Dior that we looked at earlier. So that's generally my taste when it comes to wicker bags or bags of this nature. I appreciate the fact that Kate Spade has done this with a drawstring top. I wish the leather bits were in a more brown color or maybe even black. I don't really like the pink. I don't know if they had other color variations earlier in the year, and this is all that is left. But for now, this pink one is what I can see on their website. Nevertheless, I think it is still a cute bag for that price compared to the ones we've seen previously. It's a good deal. And finally, the Coach Rogue size 20 in wicker. This one is new in the Coach lineup for this season. They brought it out early spring this year. Immediately I saw it, my mind went to the Lady Dior. I think they look very similar. It is so pretty. Again, that buttresses my point on how these bags are pretty much the same bag, except the different brands put their different logos on them, and then that's what makes them different. Okay, now as in classic Rogue fashion, it does have that zipper taping around that comes down to the sides. My one problem with this bag are the side compartments. So your classic Rogue has 3 compartments, and immediately I saw this for the first time, I'm like, this bag will definitely not have any give. So how are you going to put anything in those side compartments? And the video on the website doesn't really help that much because you can't tell, to be honest. It doesn't look like it can fit that much, but you really can't tell. So I did find a video on YouTube by Forever Ebony. She did a very, very good in-depth review on the Rogue 20 bag in wicker, and I'll leave that video linked below so you can go and take a look at what the bag fits and what it looks like. I really, really like it. I think it's a very, very beautiful bag, and at $695 is definitely better in price than the other luxury options. Now, in talking about whether designer basket bags are worth it, when I think about things like that, I consider a couple of things. So scale, labor, durability, and frequency of use. When it comes to skill, there's a technique with these things. As I've said earlier, wicker itself is a weaving technique. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if you know how to do it. So it takes a level of skill to be able to do it and do it neatly where it is well or good enough to be sold to a consumer. Labor as well. I know it's pretty time consuming to put together these bags because they're handmade, or majority of the bag is handmade, and then the leather bits and other parts can be added, the other accessories are added to it, but because of the nature of the material, it does have to be handmade. According to Coach, so on the Coach website, the Rogue 20 in wicker takes over 33 hours to complete. So that is definitely a lot of labor that goes into making just the one bag. Now, when it comes to durability, these materials are plant-based materials. There's certain elements that are just not good on these materials. So to me, it does not appear to be a long-lasting bag. Like, it's not an heirloom bag. It's not something you pass on from generation to generation. It will begin to discolor at some point. I had the Tory Burch mini Ella straw tote. I've now sold it. I could already notice some discoloration even before I when that bag was sent to me new. That's just the nature of the bag, right? Wear and tear is not very easy on the bag. It's easy to break, it's easy to be destroyed. It's just the nature of the material. So durability, I don't think you're going to get so much longevity out of this bag. And the final factor is frequency of use, because this is a warm weather bag. If you live in a tropical climate or warm weather climate, it's better in those places because you can wear it all year long. Like, if I was still living in Nigeria, I would probably have more use for this bag because I can wear it all year round. But now in North America, where we have the 4 distinct seasons, I'll probably only be able to wear this bag late spring into summer, and then I have other bags in my collection as well. It's not going to get as much use. So for me personally, for the prices that these luxury brands are charging, it is definitely not going to be worth it. I'm not going to get my cost per wear. I'm not going to use it the way I want to, like use it carefree. I'd have to be very delicate with use. I have to baby the bag, and I don't generally baby my bags because I don't want to, right? I do understand the skill and labor that goes into it, but definitely not for $13,000. Come on, guys. That's all just brand name there. So if you want to buy something based on brand heritage and brand name, that is totally fine. I have no problem with that at all. But for me, for where I'm at right now in my life, that is definitely not going to happen. I would probably stick to the contemporary versions because, like I said, when you put all these bags side by side, they're pretty much the same bag. The only difference is the logos. So I would definitely stick to the contemporary versions, most likely the Coach. Maybe if they bring it in another type bag, not the Rogue. Not the Rogue. Rogue is not for me. I like the Kate Spade version with the drawstring. I think the drawstring is more practical, is more functional than any other type of opening. It's better than zipper opening, it's better than flap, it's better than any other thing. I think the drawstring for this type of bag is really, really nice. So I guess I'm waiting for the perfect one for me. I haven't found one yet. Right now, I'll just make do with my synthetic material summer bag. So I have this one that I got from Winners this spring rather. I got it like a month or 2 months ago. This is synthetic straw. So it's not real straw, but it is faux straw. This one looks like a Kelly, a Hermes Kelly. And I like it. And it has that white leather. It serves the purpose. I mean, for a bag that I'm only going to carry 4 or 5 times a year, I'd rather spend $50 or less. That way I can get my cost per wear. And then this is another one that I got from H&M 4 or 5 years ago, again with the white, in that faux straw. And this one is saddle shaped crossbody. And for me to have had this for 5 years now, because it's synthetic, it hasn't changed color, but it has held up really good. And I've definitely gotten my cost period because I got this, I think, less than $50. So that is about the much I'm willing to spend for now on bags like this. And possibly in the future, I might think of investing in a contemporary brand at some point, preferably in like rattan with brown leather. I think that will be my preference. So we'll see if someone is going to make me my dream basket bag sometime soon. But let me know what you guys think. Do you have a basket bag in your collection? Is there one that I have not mentioned in today's video that you really like? And of all the ones that I've mentioned in this video, which one was your favorite? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in this one. Bye.